a lot of like news going on in the internet about you with Willy and
Yeah,
like
oh my god.
with filming. What is up? What happened? Apa yang terjadi?
I juga salah ngomong, but I did apologize juga.
They all think you are an actual pick-me or like
I don't mind if they think I'm a pick-me.
Nah, it says like you kenal Jeffrey Nicole kan? Ya itu banyak bilang kalau misalnya Jeffrey Nicole itu salah satu ikonnya bad boy di Indonesia. It's like the icon in Indonesia right now, and like he said that like his body count is like above 20. I know he said it like actually, and I was like, oh okay.
Yeah, I heard.
You heard.
I saw.
You saw. Yeah. What do you think about men who have a high body count?
Isn't honesty the best policy? Tapi kayak iya sih, it's a bit too high.
Like 20, is it like high for you, or is it just like ya udah gitu?
Dude, it's so high.
Hello everybody, I'm Zoe Levana and welcome to Intermezzoe, interview with me, Zoe Levana. So today I'm very excited today because hari ini bintang tamunya tuh keren banget guys. Hari ini bintang tamunya tuh she's a Gen Z, she's really pretty, and she just graduated like last year I think. Last year, right?
Last year.
Last year. Okay, let us welcome everybody. Tepuk tangannya mana? Livy Renata. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Baru pulang dari US ya kemarin ya?
Yeah, I just came home 4 days ago.
4 days ago. Damn, I see. How was US?
It was fun. I experienced a lot of things. I went to Six Flags. Have you been?
No, I've never been there.
Have you been to LA?
No, I've never been to LA. Makanya I wanted to go to LA. Masih belum tahu kapan. Maybe like in bulan
Next year?
10.
Oh,
Like bulan 10
10.
I'm going there. I really want to go there actually. Where should I go kalau misalnya ke LA?
Do you have friends there?
No, I don't. That's why. I don't have any friends in LA.
If you have friends there, then they can lead you. Maksudnya kayak become the tour guide.
Iya, harusnya kayak gitu ya. Enaknya kemana kalau misalnya LA? Where's the first destination that I have to go kalau misalnya ke LA?
There's this like really good Korean restaurant namanya Hanbat,
Okay.
and I forgot the other one, Sunondang. You should try it out.
Okay, I'm going there. By the way, congratulations for graduating.
Thank you.
Damn.
It's late, but thank you.
Yeah, it's like very late, like last year.
Last year, October was my ceremony. Cuman I graduated in May.
Oh, I see. By the way, actually, this is like off the prompt. Actually, I have like a lot of questions there, but like I'm not even gonna look at it. I want to ask you. So, before you left to LA, there was like a lot of like news going on in the internet about you with Willy and
Yeah,
like
oh my god.
with filming. What is up? What happened? Apa yang terjadi?
So we're friends. All three of us are friends.
Yeah.
But I was friends with Willy way before I was friends with Filme.
Okay.
And then there was a picture that I took
Yeah.
of him. Terus waktu lagi live, dia masuk and I was like, hey, I was the one who took a picture of that. And then people got annoyed that I said that because why would I say that out of nowhere? Sama, why were we talking about Willy when we were selling something?
Yeah.
I was on live soalnya. And I get it. I was like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Cuman after, it was like, I didn't want to talk about him, but the other host kept on asking about him.
Why did the other host keep asking about it?
I feel like biar lebih rame aja because like her job is to sell stuff. So the more people watching it, the more likely people are going to to buy her stuff dong.
Tapi didn't you like feel annoyed that she keeps asking you those things?
She was like, I have a feeling he likes you, and I was like, I don't think he likes me.
Oh, jadi
kayak
kamu bilang ya berarti kayak
I bilang, but it wasn't waktu viral di TikTok itu nggak masuk. Jadi sebenarnya dia kept on komporin kayak, I bet he liked you, and I'm like, enggak lah, he already has Filme. Terus dia kayak, are you sure that you guys aren't together? I was like, well, we went out on a date because we went to a Keshi concert together. I wouldn't call it a date sih, tapi my editor wrote it as a date waktu lagi upload video, ngerti gak sih? You know, because like when you write the word date, people are more likely to watch it. Cuman gitu doang sih. But I was never interested in him romantically, despite banyak netizen bilang that I would be interested.
Damn, so they were just like
They're just
apa ya?
shitting on me.
So they were just like editing like all the lives. Sebenarnya you said kayak specifically that you were like denying that.
Like
Tapi
I don't think he likes me. Gitu
yeah,
loh.
you were denying. Tapi everyone klipnya itu nggak ada. You
Gak
said
ada
no gitu
at
ya.
all.
Wow.
Terus like I couldn't say anything, I guess. Karena the more I say something, I feel like kalau lagi panas, the more I say something, the more they're gonna hate me, no matter what.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I can live with my own truth. They can live with theirs. Nggak apa-apa.
Yeah, I was wondering why didn't you like clarify it gitu?
It's like so many parties are involved. Terus habis itu the next week after that, it was found out that the host wanted to go live. Biar kayak, I don't know why. Apparently I was in LA, so I really wasn't following up. Ternyata dia minta live sama these parties. Biar kayak, oh kan kita lagi ada kasus, kenapa kita nggak live aja?
Yeah.
Which was kind of like insensitive on her part, but she did text me about it.
Oh.
She was like, do you want to go live? But I was like, I'm going to LA. Jadi I don't think I can go.
So you said no to the live. Tapi
Yeah.
pas waktu ada pembuktian chat, like in some chats itu ada bilang kayak, Livy mau kok gitu. It was like that.
I said, I don't think I can go, but if you want me to apologize publicly, I don't mind.
Oh, so that was a lie, kind of, not really.
Kayak, Livy mau kok. Livy mau apologize live if I had to go.
Oh, damn.
Tapi if you saw the chats, mostly my name gak ada sih.
Itu
Kayak,
more like LV gitu, kayak it was like initially it was like kind of like.
I don't think it was me because I never agreed to it.
You never
I
really
said
agreed
I don't think I can go because I'm going to LA.
I see.
I never agreed to it, sama itu semuanya wholly her idea. That's why everyone just went to her comment section.
I see. Tapi it's scary nggak sih for you, like kalau misalnya dapat berita kayak gitu and you were like in LA, did it stress you out or anything?
It did. Soalnya kayak, actually I wasn't in LA yet. I was still in Jakarta, tapi I had a flight the next day.
Oh, jadi itu that news was like burning when you
Wah.
were still in Jakarta pas mau ke LA.
Yeah.
Bukan pas you were in LA.
No, but then the second news yang about she wanted to go live, that was me in LA.
Oh.
And
okay.
like, truth be told, I was thinking the netizens were acting like I killed someone. They were like, you shouldn't be doing this shit, you know? But kalau you compare it to a lot of other cases, I don't think what I did was that bad. Maybe I juga salah ngomong, but I did apologize juga. But it felt like they wanted to see my downfall more than anything.
Yeah. I think they were like waiting for you to like, I don't know, cry or something.
Yeah. I think they were like, pick me. You know, they kept on calling me pick me because they are under the impression that I think all of the guys like me.
Yeah.
Tapi I never said he liked me. I said I don't think he likes me.
Damn. But do you feel like kayak they all think you are an actual pick me or like?
I don't mind if they think I'm a pick me. Kayak they're them, I'm me.
Ya juga sih.
Jadi kayak there's no point in trying to fix other people's perception of you. In my opinion.
I see.
But maybe I might change in the future.
All right. Well, I want to like ask you, sebenarnya ini like off all of that. Let's just talk about something more light. Anyways, as I was saying, I want to talk about something a little bit more light. Kalau
Okay.
misalnya selama kuliah, do you have like a big friend group atau kayak a small friend group sebenarnya?
Oh my god, I actually read the TikTok. Someone was like, Livy doesn't have friends. Actually, I have so many friends. Tapi this sounds so petty. This sounds so petty.
Someone said you don't have any friends?
Iya, kayak ada yang komen bilang, this is why Livy doesn't have friends.
Why would they say that?
I don't know.
Kayak,
Maybe because I actually don't hang out with people in the entertainment industry.
oh.
I have my own friend group karena yang ngerasa kayak I've known them since before I even start working. I lebih nyaman aja sama mereka gitu. Waktu di kuliah I had an okay friend group.
An okay
Nggak terlalu
friend.
gede, nggak terlalu kecil.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you like it like sebenarnya you personally lebih suka kayak
I like small circle.
lebih small circle. Why?
Because the chances of having a drama lebih kecil, satu. Sama dua, isn't it? I feel like it's better to have one good friend dibanding 10 friends.
And then they're all fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, aku relate sih. Aku relate. I see. But do you have like one friend yang kayak you can call that person anytime?
In Sydney atau?
Kayak in anywhere.
Ada dong. definitely. I think everyone needs to have that someone.
I see. And like apa ya? Are you like an open person actually?
Open-minded atau?
Like open person tuh dalam arti kayak sebenarnya kalau misalnya like ya open-minded, lebih open-minded sih.
I'm pretty itu sih, open-minded.
I think itu pengaruh because like you go to like overseas a lot, or is it just because like
Maybe the way I was raised, sama the people that I surround myself with.
I see. Tapi I do meet your mom sih. I feel like she's also open-minded.
Open-minded, yeah?
Yeah, I feel like she's really open-minded. Do you love your parents? Like, are you close with your mom?
I'm close to my parents. No, I'm closer to my mom because they're divorced.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
I live with her.
I see. Tapi berarti kalau misalnya, kalau misalnya you go luar negeri gitu, who do you go with usually?
You know, this is a funny story. After Christmas, my dad was like, "Do you wanna go to Shanghai?" And my mom was like, "Do you wanna go to Japan?" So it was like nge-clash gitu kan. And I just picked whichever one I wanna go. Jadi kalau misalnya mereka, I lagi pengen ke Jepang, ya ke Jepang aja gitu. I ended up going to Japan.
Berarti you do like traveling, right?
I do, and the pros is, if they have different destinations, you have your pick.
Damn it, that sounds so fun. But why don't you like go like you know one of those like tau gak sih kayak yang lagi viral gitu kayak 24 jam kayak live live apa itu?
Live.
Kayak I show speed like
Aduh,
stuff like
males
that.
banget, I can't do that.
You can't do that?
Itu orangnya lumayan gampang emosi.
Oh really?
And you know that a lot of netizens bakal comment something like, why don't you do this? Like, you know that's illegal. You want me to do that? Yang kayak gitu loh.
Oh, I see. Kalau misalnya, but like, do you do vlogs? Kalau misalnya kayak
I used to, but then I got kind of like bored of it. Karena yang ngerasa lama-lama, this feels more like a job.
Jadi kalau misalnya you're in a holiday, you would just like bener-bener ya udah.
Just
deh.
let go,
Just
liburan
let go.
aja. Tapi maybe in the future I might go back to vlogging.
Kalau misalnya in your YouTube, berarti what's your content biasanya?
It used to be my daily life dulu, soalnya sempat tinggal di Jepang for quite a while.
You lived in Japan?
Yeah, I learned the language, and then I was there for like maybe 7 months in total, 7 or 8 months.
Wait, so you can speak Japanese?
Yeah, I can.
Coba deh.
Mau ngomong apa tapi?
Introduce yourself in Japanese.
Hajimemashite, Livy desu.
はじめまして。私はジュリです。
よろしくお願いします。
よろしく。I don't know. Is that even right?
Yeah,
Itu
that's
bener.
right. Yeah.
Okay, siap. Look, wait, I want to ask you a question. If one
Sure.
day, kalau misalnya ini actually I want to do like this like live stream for like 3 days straight sebenarnya.
When? Soon?
Tanggal berapa Kak Exo?
So like
Kak
while
Exo.
you're sleeping juga you live
Yeah,
stream?
live stream waktu I'm sleeping too. Kalau misalnya I invite you for like, I don't know, like in a few hours, like maybe like 3 jaman lah atau...
I'll think about it, but I'm pretty bad at lives, you know?
No, it's
After,
okay.
like,
You don't need to do anything. You just stay there gitu aja.
I know, but I tuh lumayan open, right? So if you ask me about anything, I'd probably answer it. And because whenever I answer something, it seems to go fucking viral.
Because soalnya you jujur.
Iya.
Isn't that a good thing?
That's
actually?
a good thing, tapi kan I guess waktu di Amerika juga lumayan belajar. There's like there are certain things that you can say online and certain things you can't say online. And itu juga it's a learning process for me.
I see. Tapi for my opinion, I think it's a good thing that you're honest gitu loh as a person, and I feel like it's just a good thing gitu. I feel like
Tapi not everyone can think like kayak mikir kayak kita, gitu nggak sih?
No, I feel like not people can accept it aja sih. Lebih
Yeah,
tepatnya.
or maybe they just don't like me in general, and they're like, I'm waiting for her to fuck up, so I can comment.
I see. Tapi ini udah dibahas di mana-mana sih. Tapi I actually want to ask you this question. I'm pretty sure everyone is waiting for the answer.
Yeah.
Ini sebenarnya, do you have a lot of guy friends?
I have so many guy friends, and
Banyak yang deketin gak sih?
I want to say banyak, but they're gonna be like, she's such a pick me. Jadi gini,
Okay.
I want to say this. Whenever people think, oh yeah, Livy thinks everyone likes her, but the kenyataan is they do confess to me. They're like, I like you. Jadi kayak, what am I gonna say? They don't like me? Then that's lying, gak sih?
Yeah, I get it. Tapi kayak, do you have like platonic friends gitu loh?
I have so many
Ada.
platonic friends.
I see. Tapi kalau misalnya after they confess, itu jadinya TTM atau kayak cuman...
I would say I don't like you like that, tapi I want to be friends. Kalau misalnya you're okay with being friends, nggak apa-apa. Tapi if you don't want to be friends, I understand that. Tapi how about you? Do you believe that guys and girls can be friends just platonically?
I do believe that, because I do have like my guy friends yang kayak bener-bener platonic without any feelings at all.
So they're not attracted to you, or
No,
you don't know?
They're not attracted to me. Well, I don't think they're attracted to me, nggak tahu lagi ya. But like, they're not attracted to me, I'm not attracted to them. Tapi kita kayak best friends aja.
I know that girls can bisa kayak, oh, I nggak gitu suka sama dia, I'm not attracted to him. Tapi I don't know if it can go the other way around.
Iya.
I heard guys are only friends with girls they're attracted to. Tapi nggak tahu ya. Katanya sih gitu.
Katanya gitu ya,
Katanya
bener
gitu.
ya. I see.
Tapi nggak tahu, not proven.
I see. What do you think about situationships? My brain is not braining right now. I only had like 4 hours of sleep.
Why? I had like 9.
Jadi gini. Okay, every time I want to say something, I always say jadi gini. So like I slept at like, I don't know, 4 I think, because I was like making music with my friend, Sexy Good and jam 6. I was like making music and I was like, okay, I finished, I cooked. I was like that, and then like yeah. So I slept at like 4. So my brain is not braining, and I'm reading, and like my eyes are not eyeing right now, so I don't know what I'm reading.
Ini ada subtitle kan, dari tadi ngomong Inggris terus nih.
Iya, dari tadi ngomong Inggris terus nih. Oke, saya ngomong bahasa Indonesia dengan adil dan beradab dan benar. Jadi sekarang ini aku mau nanya, see my Indonesian is not Indonesianing gitu loh. Jadi, tuh kan ngomong lupa nih. Oke, anyway.
Situationships.
Ya, situationship.
I think it's a great way to get to know another person.
Ya.
Dibanding langsung relationship, because it's like a free trial, don't you think?
Tapi kalau misalnya situationship kan kadang-kadang orang-orang itu kan apa ya, kan a lot of people biasanya tuh nggak suka dengan situationship gitu. Kayak for your opinion itu, is it okay to just kayak jalan aja in a situationship without
Like go with the flow?
Yeah, let just go with the flow. Terus kayak nggak usah pacaran aja, or is it like what
I'm
do you
okay
think?
with that. How about you?
Kalau for me sih, it's like a 50-50 actually.
Iya sih.
50-50
Depends on
sih.
the person actually.
Depends on the
What's the
person.
reason kita masih situationship and why are we not dating? Kalau misalnya the reason is like, oh, commitment issues atau I still wanna see other girls, then don't you think that's kind of bad?
Iya sih.
But if it's like personal reasons and I don't know you that well yet, and the next time I wanna date someone, I wanna marry this person, itu kan beda ya.
Yeah.
I need time to get to know you first before I actually marry you.
Tapi have you ever been in a situationship before?
Yeah, I have.
How did it feel for you?
Gimana ya? How did it feel? Different. Maksudnya beda-beda lah. I've been in like 2 situationships, 2 or 3. Semuanya beda.
Did you like it or did you not like it?
I'm neutral.
Neutral. Why?
I don't want to force them to date me. And I don't want to force myself to date them juga, nggak sih? I feel like situationships give you a lot of passes.
I see.
Like if they cheat, they're gonna be like, technically we're not even dating.
Oh, iya lagi.
And sebenarnya nggak salah juga sih.
Iya lagi.
Yeah. So sebenarnya you can do the same.
Tapi why at that moment, waktu itu you guys were in a situationship, why didn't you
So I had
jalanin
this.
aja?
I had a situationship in Japan, and
He was Japanese?
he was Japanese.
Damn, Japanese,
And
okay.
people always think it's like this public figure, but he's not public figure. He's not a public figure at all. I didn't really vibe with him when it came to relationships. Tapi as friends, we were like really great gitu. He was still very involved with his past relationships, makanya jadi susah.
Oh, tapi talking about like overseas, berarti you sebenarnya tuh lebih nyaman dengan budaya luar atau Indonesia sih, actually?
I lebih suka budaya luar sih, because they're okay with orang-orang being straightforward. Kalau misalnya di Indo kan lebih, if you're late, you gotta be like, I'm so sorry, I kena macet. Sorry banget ya kak. Right? But when I was working in Australia, I was just like, dude, I'm sorry, I overslept. Titik.
So you can just be really honest if you
Yeah,
were
it's like
outside.
more to the point, ay ngerasa.
Wait, does that mean like you kan orangnya straightforward banget ya. Kalau ngomong langsung ceplos-ceplos gitu kan. Actually, this is from my perspective,
Yeah,
and you're
I would
like really
say.
honest kan. Itu pengaruh dari budaya luar, or is it just like
I think
you
it's just
being
me
you?
as a person karena I don't like wasting time.
I see. What's your zodiac?
Aries.
Ooh, I like Aries. Okay, okay. When were you born?
26 March.
Ooh.
In 2 days, my birthday. It's 24 right now.
Oh my god, habis gini ulang tahun, 2 hari lagi.
I'm a March Aries, which is
Oh
I heard
my
lebih
God.
kayak stubborn lagi sama headstrong.
Kind of, actually, iya bener.
Yeah, my God.
Oh my god. Oh my god, 2 days is your birthday. I'm gonna say happy birthday in another 2 days. I'm gonna like taruh di kalender gitu, Livy's
Thank you.
birthday. Okay, after this. Yeah, okay, I see. Damn, turns out she's an Aries, guys. Jadi buat kalian yang kayak, now I know why you said like you get mad easily nggak sih
Yeah,
sebenarnya?
because it's like annoying.
Wait, kalau misalnya you meet people yang kayak don't understand you, do you get pissed easily?
Yes.
Kayak kesel atau kayak langsung marah gitu?
Kesel. Kemarin I just had a conversation with one of my friends in America. He was like, Livy, you don't like yappers kan? I don't like yappers. People who overshare.
Oh iya, oke.
So let's say Zoe, I ask you, lu putus sama mantan lu terakhir kenapa? You can just be like, oh, he cheated on me, atau oh, gue gak cocok, titik, right? But some people, they do this thing where they're like, oh, jadi gini, gue sama mantan gue tuh ketemu di klub ini. Terus habis itu, blah, blah, blah. It's like unnecessary information when you can just get to the point.
Oh, it's like they go
Round and round before they get to
and
the
then-
point.
Yeah, I got it.
So I said I don't like yappers, and I don't like people who ask too many questions.
Okay.
Terus he was like, but that's how a conversation works. Nggak sih? Kayak conversation kan emang begitu. Oversharing and asking questions. Intinya we had like a heated argument where I was just like, I think it's because whatever comes out of your mouth is not good. Kayak it's not good to hear.
I see.
Makanya I just don't want to hear it gitu.
I see. Tapi do you like arguments as a person?
No.
No, you don't like arguments.
I don't like arguments because it's a waste of time. Unless it's like necessary ya, mungkin kalau lagi pacaran you have to argue it out to solve things. Right? Yeah.
Anyway, from what I heard, you tuh juga ada usaha parfum gak sih?
Oh yeah, I just started like last year.
Last year?
Late last year, maybe November. Yeah.
Tapi you do like perfumes atau gimana?
I love perfume.
You do?
Yeah.
I see. What kind of perfumes do you like?
I like the floral ones. Pokoknya suka yang nggak gitu mainstream ya.
Oh, I see.
Because I think I can remember a person by their scent.
Oh, really?
If they use it too often, not like once. Maybe if I've seen them 7 times and 7 times mereka pakai perfume ini, I'd be like, oh, this person is associated to this smell.
So, the next step tuh apa sih? Kayak, do you wanna lanjut like S2 atau kayak, do you wanna make like another business or anything like that?
I don't know, honestly. I've been like lacking in the marketing department dari kemarin. Apalagi I went to US and I forgot about everything in Indo. Jadi I have to get back on track dulu before actually thinking of making another business.
By the way, itu you tau gak sih yang lagi viral apa itu donatur jangan apa itu selain donatur jangan ngatur. What do you think about that?
Agak tahu.
You nggak tahu ya?
Emang viral musik kayak kenapa sih? Why is
Itu
it viral?
viral donatur jangan ngatur. Wait, let's see. Ini habis gini, wait, they're like searching for it.
Tapi
Itu
kenapa sih?
kemarin.
Like, what's going on?
Jadi
I
kayak this
literally
was-
just got back. Jadi I gak tahu apa-apa.
Honestly, I knew this from like TikTok too. They had to like search for it. So there was like this girl that went viral from saying donatur dilarang ngatur. It's like a thing.
Wait, actually, I might have seen her.
Have you?
I saw her in Titan Tira's story because I follow Titan.
Oh.
Cowok yang sinis dengan statement selain donatur, dilarang ngatur, yang nganggur, tercium bau kurang mampu dari jarak 100 km.
Itu cewek siapa gue? Tolong donaturnya kandangin dia dulu dong. Statement-statement kayak begitu yang akhirnya membuat banyak orang berpikir kalau perempuan itu bodoh. Padahal perempuan yang bodoh itu cuma dia.
Mendingan kita diem aja gak sih, So?
I don't know what to say. Gue juga takut.
I juga speechless.
I juga speechless. You know, like I want to say something tapi kayak.
Lebih kayak gini, you live your life, I'm gonna live mine gitu aja kali ya.
Do you think itu kata-katanya bener gak sih? Donatur dilarang ngatur, is that right?
Well, you're just passing the ball to me, huh?
I am. I mean, you're the guest star. I am avoiding all of this.
I see. So like kita baru temenan hari ini, but this is what you're doing. I see.
I am. I'm passing the ball to you.
Let me think about this.
You are the guest star. This is like, do you know this is like Family 100 and I'm like.
Tapi gimana kalau kita sharing our thoughts?
Oke, boleh deh. Ayo.
What are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts on this ya.
Yeah.
Jadi gini. For my opinion, kalau misalnya dari aku sih, because apa ya? Karena I've been working. Jadi dari umur 12 aku dari dulu kan kerja.
Well, who were you working as?
I was working as a model. Jadi kayak I know it's like aku kan dari dulu entertain kan. Jadi kayak dari kecil aku happy banget. Aku dari dulu itu kayak tau gak sih kayak jadi model dulu nge-collab pertama kali photoshoot itu nggak dibayar dulu. Terus akhirnya dapat uang 500.000 pertama kali ngejajan sendiri itu kayak seneng. Jadi kalau misalnya kayak wah cowok itu harus bayar gini-gini itu kayak aku masih jujur ya kalau misalnya aku masih disuruh kayak split bill masih nggak apa-apa sebenarnya. Gitu. Ngerti gak sih? Jadi kayak kalau misalnya dengar kata-kata donatur dilarang ngatur tuh kayak apa ya? Aku masih kayak agak bingung gitu loh kayak.
You don't fully agree with that statement.
I don't feel kayak terlalu gimana gitu loh kayak bingung aja kayak maybe for you, maybe untuk kamu seperti itu tapi untuk aku enggak beda gitu loh perspektif
ya,
aku
gimana ya
gitu.
Di dunia kan banyak orang ya semua orang ada their own way of life.
Iya benar.
Maybe that's her way of life. Kalau me personally I do think that provider men are really important karena that's the way I was raised kayak traditional mindset. My dad taught me that kayak ini cowok harus terus yang kayak bayarin gitu.
Yes. Bener.
Tapi menurut saya tergantung your family.
Then what's your POV about ayah rumah tangga by the way?
Wah, I don't agree with that. Kalau bisa mereka juga kerja sih, cause I feel like if you see your dad at home way too much and not working, sometimes you may lose respect if the head of the household is a woman. You may. Karena kayak society doesn't view that as normal. Tapi kalau you sendiri open-minded and you're okay with that, ya nggak apa-apa.
Jadi you're still a little bit traditional ya sebenarnya ya.
I'm a bit traditional.
I'm still, aku juga sebenarnya a little bit traditional juga. Karena kayak, you know, sekarang ini kan eranya lumayan, it's been changed a little bit. Dimana kayak sekarang cewek-cewek kayak, I'm independent gini. And like now there's like a few cases dimana kayak, okay, the girls are the one who works and then like the guys are the one who's chilling in the house. Like, so you disagree with that and then like tetap cowok harus tetap kerja ya?
I feel like we need a strong head of the household. Gitu sih. Yeah.
Kalau misalnya ini deh, top 3 red flags of a guy.
In a guy? I nggak suka cowok pelit sih, me personally. And kemarin ini kayak viral juga di TikTok that I said I wanted someone rich.
Yeah.
Which is not wrong. Kayaknya I'm one of the only people, me and Michelle, are probably the only people who are kind of honest. Yang kayak, what kind of person do you want to be with? Gak mungkin I jawab dong kayak, I want someone who's broke. Kayak I gak mungkin say that because I feel like I can work by myself. And you know how parents udah pasti kepengen the best for you. And your parents gak mungkin kayak, Michelle kamu cari ya sama cowok yang gak bisa kerja. Gak mungkin your mom is gonna say that. Karena she wants you to have a happy life. And like money isn't everything, but everything needs money.
Yeah, I get it.
Jadi like one of the red flags would be cowok pelit. And 2 kalau mereka ngomong terlalu kasar.
Yeah, I agree to that. I agree so much. Oh my god.
I know one person who, whenever he ended the sentence, he would say tai.
Oh, I hate that
right?
so much. Iya bener lagi.
Like lu mau kemana tai? Mau makan apa tai? It's like stop. Yeah. That's not a full stop. Okay.
I don't really like it either kalau misalnya like aku kan dari Surabaya.
Halus
jadi,
ya?
Nggak halus juga sih sebenarnya, cuma kayak to me kalau misalnya I hear a guy terus kayak I'm sorry guys, ini sorry banget ya kalau misalnya ngomong kayak ini, lu mau makan apa? Kayak what is that? It doesn't feel right in my ear.
Like why are you so kasar, right?
Ya kayak why are you saying this? Kayak kasar banget ya di kuping aku, kayak aneh gitu loh. I thought orang Jakarta kayak gitu and turns out no, it was just him gitu loh.
Oh, just this guy
gitu, just this friend group gitu loh. Okay, so I agree with you on that.
Tapi kayak whenever every interview I would be asked like what's your red flag in a guy, and sometimes it's always changing, you know. Kayak Cause every time I go to a podcast, I habis ketemu orang baru and I'm like, I don't like this person. I don't like a person yang kayak begini. Kan obviously when you live and then you meet so many people, kayak I baru balik dari LA. There's this one person that I don't like because dia nggak ada, like he's not funny.
Jadi ini kayak baru ketemu kayak orang kayak
I don't like people who are cringe. Like when they joke around, they think they're so funny, but they're actually just flat out rude. Atau kayak they're just not funny at all. So this guy, whenever he talked to me, he was like, siapa? Siapa antat? Siapa? Yang nanya. Apa antat? Terus gimana, nggak kesel? I bilang, gila ngomong sama dia tuh kayak ngomong sama tong sampah, tau nggak sih? Isinya sampah semua, I bilang. See, you get it? Kesel kan? I lagi argue sama dia, siapa antat? And he did this, nye. I was like, holy fucking shit, what are you, 12?
Oh my god, I know.
He's my age, by the way, 2002, older than you.
Yeah, oh my god, he
Older
did that.
Yeah, this one time he was drinking.
Yeah.
And then dia tiba-tiba ngomongin kematian. Like death, hell and heaven. And I didn't want to be part of that conversation. Kayak sedih banget gila mau ngomongin kematian when you're drunk. I'm not even drinking gitu. And he was like, see, this is the problem. You wouldn't even join our conversations.
It was like a group, and then like they were talking about like, yeah, death is like this, gini.
I think their own perspectives of death. Terus I was just like sleeping.
Oh.
At a beanbag. I was sleeping
like
in a beanbag.
Like they were drunk or like they were.
I think they were drinking. I was watching K-drama.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Kayak, I don't want to join your conversation. Who wants to join? Not everyone wants to join a conversation about hell and heaven.
I mean, like, why? If you don't want to join their conversation, terus kenapa like mereka?
He's very pushy.
Oh.
This guy's very pushy. Jadi that's another red flag, actually pushy.
Iya, aku juga nggak seneng pushy. I mean like
gaslighter.
Iya.
Yang kayak, Zoe lu nggak mau ikut hari ini. Ayolah kan katanya kita temenan. Ya udah deh kalau misalnya lu nggak ikut berarti kita nggak temenan ya.
Kayak buat apa ngomong kayak gitu? Like I understand what you mean deh.
Yeah.
You know my moon sign is an Aries. Jadi kalau misalnya aku digituin aku juga nggak bisa. Aku kayak what is wrong?
So your sun sign, as I heard, is Libra. Libra ya?
Aku Libra, 17 Oktober.
Moon sign and what's your rising?
My rising is my ascendant itu Sagittarius.
Is that fire sign?
I'm a fire sign. Jadi kayak
so you're double fire?
Yeah, double fire, one air.
Oh, I think I'm the same. No, my moon is Virgo. What is that? Air?
Virgo itu tanah.
Oh, my moon is Virgo and my rising is Leo.
Okay, boleh. Wow, okay, understandable. Wow.
Double fire.
Wow, okay.
What about MBTI? What's your MBTI?
Apa sih yang do you know that girl yang kayak the scientist yang
I gak tahu, just
aku lupa itu makanya INTP kalau nggak salah.
INTP, oh your T.
Yeah. Harusnya INTP yang ungu yang kayak scientist yang cewek gitu.
Tapi do you believe that MBTI is accurate compared to zodiac atau?
Tapi jujur aja kalau misalnya zodiac I do kind of believe it, tapi kalau misalnya IMBT itu kayak lebih accurate. Yeah,
MBTI ya. I also think it's more accurate.
Karena it's personality kan.
Yeah,
kan
yeah,
dibaca
yeah.
dulu and like it can change like every 6 months or like 1 year, I forgot ya.
I think because you're never the same person as you were a year ago.
Like a year ago or every 6 months, I forgot. You have to check it like every 6 months or like a year.
Yeah.
I forgot, like around that, yeah. Oh, by the way, I heard you like Raffi Ahmad, if I'm not wrong.
I do, right? I really like him. Tapi I also did say I suka Haritano. Mungkin bentar lagi viral juga.
Like why? Is it because they're rich or is it because like?
Dude, when I first saw him, I cried because I was like so in shock. I juga suka Raditya Dika. Ini kalau mau diviralin sekalian aja Raditya Dika, Haritano, Raffi Ahmad, siapa lagi yang I suka ya? Nagita juga sebenarnya I suka. Tapi yang diviralin udah pasti yang cowok, biar I kelihatan kayak homewrecker. Terus siapa lagi yang I suka? Banyak sih yang I suka.
Why? Because like they're rich or is it?
No, Raditya Dika I like him because he's funny.
Oh, I see.
Kalau Haritano, I just respect his craft, man. Like he made so many things. And Raffi Ahmad, he's also funny. He's really funny, and I don't know, mungkin I just grew up watching him.
Oh, you grew up watching him?
I don't really watch Indonesian TV, but he's one of the only artists that I know. Yang I kayak, wah gila, he's been there since I was born.
Makes sense.
Dia sama Cinta Laura, I suka juga. Terus habis itu everyone's like, Livy, you don't compare to Nagita. And Raffi Ahmad would never like you. I would be concerned if he likes me. I'm 22.
22.
I would be concerned. What is he, huh? Did he?
What is he, Diddy?
Gak mungkin banget dia suka sama I. Obviously netizen, you won. He will never like me, and I hope he does not like me.
Tapi I also like Raffi Ahmad. Raffi Ahmad is really nice.
Hati-hati loh yang ngomong kayak gitu.
No,
Ntar viral.
no, I mean, gini. Aku respect banget sama Raffi Ahmad. Aku udah pernah ketemu Raffi Ahmad dan dia benar-benar baik banget. Dan aku juga suka Nagita juga. They were really, really nice to me.
Yeah, both of them are so cool.
They're so nice.
Right?
Yeah, I was an MC once and then I met him and then like we made content too. Waktu itu aku main apa sih namanya? Apa itu? Itu loh yang I played arcade games with him. He won. I'm actually shocked.
See, I mean, doesn't that make you like him more? Maksudnya kayak keren juga nih orang.
Iya,
Dia udah
keren
kayak
juga.
begitu bisa menang, right?
Iya.
Tapi, I mean, as long as you don't switch up the narrative, right?
Yeah.
My narrative is always switched up. Next thing you know, people are gonna be like, gila, Livy ternyata suka Haritanu, that's crazy. That's wild.
That's wild. Wow.
Nggak sekalian suka 10 naga. The richest man in the world here. If I wanna go for rich, maybe I'll just say I like Elon Musk.
My God. But like they do, kenapa ya? Why do you think like netizens like to like switch your apa ya kayak diputer-puterin your words?
I don't know why, but specifically when it comes to guys, they're like, oh pasti when Livy says dia suka this person, it's romantically.
Kenapa
Like,
gitu?
I don't know why, and I don't want to know anymore. You know, there's like this meme yang kayak I don't know and I'm afraid to ask.
Oh my God. Tapi
Kayak,
kalau misalnya,
are you into like older men? Sorry to cut you off.
I'm into older men.
You are. Tapi
I
how
am.
old is old? Like 60-year-old?
Don't laugh. No, nggak sampai 60 juga.
Yeah, so 40-year-old, old enough to be your dad, is that okay?
No lah.
Obviously, I get it too.
You understand, right?
I understand,
No,
but
I
somehow
understand.
they're like, udah pasti dia suka ini. You know, sebenarnya whenever people are like, what's your type in men and who's your ideal type? I would say someone yang sengaja lebih tua dari I and probably not in my age range. Biar mereka nggak mungkin ship I atau kayak hate on me. But then they still do. Like, what the fuck should I say then? Maybe I should just say someone who's dead. Like Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Karena you mau hujat gimana lagi? It's Michael Jackson. Or they're gonna be like, you can't speak ill of the dead. See, they're gonna say anything about me.
Tapi if you were to get like a boyfriend,
Yeah.
itu wajib cindo nggak sih?
Enggak sih.
Enggak. Like, tapi kalau agama, like, wait, sorry, I'm asking you. You agama apa?
I'm a Christian.
Oh, yeah, same, we're Christians. Kalau misalnya seagama atau you're open?
Kalau bisa, I actually don't want to move. Aku nggak mau pindah agama ever. Because I feel like kalau misalnya you bisa pindah agama, it means your belief is not really that strong to begin with. Tapi this is a personal opinion.
It's a personal opinion.
Yeah.
Soalnya kayak it's really trending right now di Indonesia where like a lot of people kan kalau misalnya nanya kan, oh, kalau misalnya cindo harus sama cindo nggak sih? Is that
Yeah.
true? Kalau for uni.
Based on your type aja sih, lebih ke tipe menurut I. If your type is chindo, then you should just stick with chindos.
Your type, what's your type?
My type is not really chindos. I don't like chindos.
Oh, really?
I like people who are abroad, or maybe chindos who don't dress like chindos. If you get it?
Itu dia.
Because they kind of dress like NPCs. Sometimes, sorry ya kalau ada yang banyak nonton nanti kayak sometimes only. They're like ADLV shorts, Gucci slides. Yeah. Yang ada fashion style sendiri, I would be more attracted to.
Don't forget the Kenzo shirt.
See? Yeah. You know this because you're NPCs. You know this account on Instagram, Don't Kenzo My Chindo?
No, I don't know actually.
Dude, itu kayak, that account, it's like felt like a personal attack. Kalau misalnya you buka.
Nanti aku cek ya.
You should actually check it
No,
out.
I want to check it out.
I followed it on my second account.
I will look at it. I will look it up at my
Mereka
second
kayak lagi
account.
ngomongin stereotype kalau misalnya orang kuliah di Amerika gimana, kuliah di Aussie gimana. And then they made like a parody
Yeah.
of like how Aussie girls speak, and I was like, shit, that's basically me.
How do Aussie girls speaks?
Apparently they like to be like, oh you kuliah di USIT ya, aku nggak pernah ketemu you ya, gila ya woy. Apparently that's how they speak.
Really?
Like with the woy, and then they're like, why do I never see you in the library or something? I do say why a lot.
Understandable.
I think you should just check it out and see.
Yeah, I'm gonna see that actually. What's your 3 green flags in a guy?
3 green flags. One of them is if they're tall. It's not exactly a green flag. It's like a physical trait that I'm interested in.
I see. Someone who's like very tall or just taller
No,
than you?
tall enough.
Tall enough. Like taller than you aja.
No,
gitu.
Taller than me would be like 170. That's too short.
Like 180 lah.
Ya, 180 lah.
Oke, 180.
Tapi pasti kalau misalnya I tanya my friends in America, you suka cowok yang kayak gimana? None of them are gonna be like cowok pendek sih. What do I like ya? Someone who's a gentleman.
Oh. It's basically the opposite of your red flag sih sebenarnya.
Right? Someone
Iya
who's a
sih?
gentleman and someone who has a good sense of humor.
Yeah, I really like funny guys. Actually, I
Tapi
really
it's like everyone's sense of humor kan beda. Maybe to you this person's funny, but to me he's just cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your sense of humor? I actually want to know.
My sense of humor,
Dark jokes nyampe nggak?
no, nggak suka.
I see.
Maybe just like memes. I'm okay with like slight bullying. You tau gak sih? In like relationships, sometimes you dibully dikit.
Oh, kayak apa kalau misalnya dia pakai kacamata, you're like, oh what, you 4 eyes, something
Oh,
like that.
nerd, yang kayak gitu. Maybe that's like okay, you know? But some girls are a bit sensitive to that. Kayak, I nggak suka dikatain cowok kayak gitu.
Oh, I understand. Tapi kalau misalnya berarti you're not okay with kayak dark jokes gitu kan? You're not okay with
I
it.
males dengernya.
Oh, I see.
Because sometimes they think they're so edgy and cool. Kayaknya it's depending on their delivery mungkin ya.
Yeah.
I haven't found anyone who's like made a dark joke and actually been funny. Tapi I nggak tahu, mungkin I juga nggak suka dark joke atau mungkin all the people that I've met deliverynya kurang.
I see. That makes sense actually. That
Right?
makes sense. Yeah, no, I understand what you mean. I get it. Berarti kalau misalnya your type of guy, that means you like someone who's like. Tapi kalau misalnya physically nih, facial features, lebih suka cowok yang bule atau Asian?
Asian.
Oh, why?
Kayak all the guys that I have been close to in the past is like Asian, and people who are close to me would know that it's usually they have like a Korean or Japanese, Chinese looking features.
Oh.
Tapi bukan kayak Chindo features, so if that's why yang kemarin tentang like, you can censor this one. There's no way I'm attracted to him. I'm not saying he's ugly, I'm just saying I'm not attracted to him.
No, I see.
Yeah. Kayak semua orang kan tipenya beda-beda gitu kan.
So you're attracted to like Korean.
My type is like pretty
Japanese.
boys.
Oh, you like pretty boys.
Pretty boys.
Bad boys suka nggak?
Oke lah, tapi kalau visually, I really like pretty boys yang mukanya bersih, terus matanya gede.
Yang kayak berarti kayak Korean idols gitu nggak sih?
Yeah, and like kalau bisa longer hair. I like longer hair.
Oh.
But not Harry Styles hair. Harry Styles is like too long.
Yeah, it's too long. Berarti
Yeah.
kayak siapa ya?
Mungkin segini ya.
Do you have like any Korean idols that you like right
Cha
now?
Eun-woo,
Oh, Cha Eun-woo. Yeah, that's pretty.
Rowoon.
Itu-
Do you know SF9 Rowoon?
No. Tapi kalau Cha Eun-woo aku tahu. Itu
How
very
about
pretty.
Tao Ming-se, the one who played in Tao Ming-se.
Tao Ming-se.
Dylan Wang.
Wow, it's my
Wang
type.
Hati.
That's my type.
Yes.
100%. I don't, jujur aja, whenever anyone asks me about my type, I don't even have a type at this point.
No?
No, I don't have a type.
Are you okay
Physically, I
with
don't.
bules?
I'm okay with bule. I'm okay with any type of guy.
Like
Pokoknya,
Latino gitu, okay.
I'm okay. I'm okay with Indians. I'm okay with any type of guy. Pokoknya, for my opinion, dia cakep aja udah. Like for my opinion,
But
he's
you
good
don't really go
looking.
for looks, right?
Not really. For me, aku sukanya cakepnya medium.
Oh, so like medium ugly.
medium ugly, medium well. It's like ini udah kayak steak aja ya ngomongnya ya. Mine is just like ya medium. Pokoknya gini loh, for my opinion. This is from me. As good looking as you can be, kalau misalnya kita ngomongnya nggak nyambung, I will leave.
Yeah. But would you ever go public in like on social media when you have like a relationship?
It depends actually.
Depends.
It depends on like first how serious we're gonna go. Second, kayak apa ya? Ya how serious it's gonna go?
Aja
sebenarnya.
gitu.
Iya. Nah, it says like you kenal Jeffrey Nicole kan?
Yeah.
Ya itu banyak bilang kalau misalnya Jeffrey Nicole tuh salah satu ikonnya bad boy di Indonesia.
Yeah,
Well, a lot of people said like he is a bad boy in Indonesia, and it's like the icon in Indonesia right now, and like he said that like his body count is like above 20.
that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. He said it like actually, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I heard.
You heard.
I saw.
You saw. Yeah. What do you think about men who have a high body count?
Oh, what do I think about guys with high body counts?
Yeah.
Isn't honesty the best policy? Tapi kayak iya sih, it's a bit too high.
Like 20, is it like high for you, or is it just like ya udah gitu?
Dude, it's so high.
It is high, right?
Iya kan?
Yeah.
Iya sih. Tapi I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Soalnya, to be honest, how do you even know someone's body count or not? Like, let's say he has a body count of like 300. How do we know that?
I mean, I have to ask him first. Gitu.
Yeah, but what if he lies? What if he says, oh yeah, 1?
Yeah, how would we know? Yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't know.
Yeah, honesty is the best policy sebenarnya ya.
Right?
Yeah, you're not wrong. Sebenarnya if he said like maybe kalau misalnya dia ngomong body countnya dia ada 20, I'd be like, oh, I'd be honored that you're telling me the truth, but damn, that's a lot gitu.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
That means
maybe,
you're not really picky ya, gitu kan?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you haven't been picky. Have you been checking? I don't know gitu like.
You've been everywhere.
Yeah, like have you been to the doctors already?
Have you checked?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Kayak, have you been to the doctors already? Gitu. Maybe that's my
I see.
question
Yeah,
sebenarnya sih. And kayak apa ya? Maybe because like I'm waiting for marriage, so jadi kayak I don't know how to feel about that gitu
Yeah.
aja sih.
Tapi imagine like you're married and then ternyata your husband lied to you. Like he told you his body count was like 1.
And turns out he had like 20.
Yeah.
Terus aku kayak, oh my god.
Kayak
I
you
mean-
find out after you're married.
Ya jujur aja kecewa sih, tapi ya udah mau gimana.
Mau
As long
gimana,
as
I already
like
married him gitu ya.
kalau misalnya dari aku sih asalkan dia apa ya, as long as his personality doesn't change aja sih gitu loh. It doesn't really matter how many body counts that he has, as long as like
He's a nice person.
Yeah, dia orangnya baik dan he's treating me right gitu aja. Maybe that's his past. Ya udah, that's his past. As long as you go to the doctors and you get that checked already, I'm okay.
I see.
And just be honest gitu loh.
Yeah.
Aku suka orang yang jujur. That's about me.
Me too, me too.
Jadi kalau misalnya orang itu straightforward juga sama aku, ngomongnya langsung dan tidak kayak, kalau misalnya aku nanya misalnya nih, ini kayak gimana sih? Oh ini tuh gerrrrt, terus baru ngomong, ya gitu. Ya what you said itu loh, kayak dia ngomong puter dulu baru gini, I can't do that. It's like,
Same.
kayak
I
aku
see.
pusing gitu loh, kayak
I like that.
gitu loh. By the way, I want to ask, are you single now or are you in a relationship now?
It's complicated ya.
It's complicated. I love those words. Why is it
Complicated.
complicated?
No, I said that's a complicated question.
Oh, it's a complicated question.
I would say I'm single until someone actually asks me out. I'm single.
Single right now.
Yeah. Are
Oh.
you single?
Me? Jadi gini.
Jadi like
Yeah.
you're
Yeah, I'm
single,
single.
or are you like single?
No, I'm single.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm single. Like, tapi are you close with someone right now?
No.
I see.
I was thinking.
Tapi nggak ada yang asking you out or anything like that.
Ada, I just don't.
You just don't. I see.
I don't go out.
But have you been in like a toxic relationship or anything like that?
No.
You've never been in a toxic relationship?
No.
Okay, this is shocking. You've never been in a toxic relationship.
No.
Why?
Not for long.
How come?
Cause when I see red flags, I leave. I don't know what some girls they stay, but I leave. It's a waste of my time and theirs.
How do you know it's a toxic relationship? Langsung you cut it off gitu?
When
Gimana
you start
caranya?
feeling like it's toxic, we're not stupid, right? We know. And then when your friends also say it, your parents say it,
Langsung you just cut it off like tok gitu.
I think I just decide to give it a chance dulu. And the chance is usually like maybe a week or 2. I've never been in a toxic relationship karena dari awal I would tell them what I want and what I don't like. Kalau lu kayak gini, if you're possessive, terlalu ngatur, terlalu whatever I don't like, then we shouldn't even start anything.
Berarti you nggak suka diatur ya orangnya berarti?
Enggak.
Oke. Now, I want to ask you, ini do you believe in the term kalau misalnya cowok itu bisa berubah demi cewek?
No.
Why?
I think it depends kalau cowoknya mau atau enggak. And even if they do change, I feel like they're only gonna change for a short amount of time. Kayak maybe you say, I nggak suka cowok ngerokok, so this guy is gonna stop like smoking for you. Tapi after he gets you, he's gonna be like, yeah, I already got her, so I'm still gonna smoke.
Oh, okay.
They're only gonna change for that short amount of time. There's an expiry date.
Jadi nanti, okay, so you're saying kalau misalnya nih ada cowok, aku bilang, misalnya nih ada orang bilang gini, aku nggak suka kamu minum nih, misalnya ya. Nanti mereka stop, tapi stopnya
Stop, or they're gonna do it behind your back.
Okay, I see. Or they're probably gonna stop, tapi nanti in a while mereka balik lagi, relapse lagi. Okay, that makes sense.
It's like there's a lot of, atau mungkin I'm just not a very positive person. There's like cases where my friends got cheated on. Terus habis itu they're like, no, he's gonna change.
No, they did not say that. I hate those words.
But
no,
it happens again, and they're like, no, they're gonna change next time. Like, what do you mean?
Kalau misalnya cheating itu udah gak bisa sih.
I mean, kalau misalnya mau ngomong kayak change, it could be like a habit, like cheating, smoking, or it could be literally a personality trait. Ya nggak sih, kayak misalnya if they're dari awalnya udah gimana ya, cuek, do you think they can change? Cause that's their core loh. Mereka udah cuek dari situnya.
Gini, jadi kalau misalnya for me, if it's already like a personality, gini, kalau misalnya udah personality, I don't feel like they can change.
They could try.
Kalau misalnya udah jadi habit, I feel like it's really hard already. Tergantung. Kalau misalnya they wanna change for a person, itu susah. They have to change for themselves.
Do you think though people can actually change?
I do feel like people can change.
Like the boys for
For a girl.
a girl?
No.
No.
They could change kalau misalnya gini. They could change kalau misalnya mereka merasa mereka harus change for themselves untuk this girl. Bukan mereka, oh karena cewek ini gitu loh, ngerti gak sih?
Yeah. I see your point. I do agree.
Kayak gitu, karena back again, nggak mungkin orang itu bisa berubah karena orang. Mereka itu harus berubah karena diri sendirinya mau gitu. Or not, they're just gonna relapse. Dan relapse-nya tuh usually 2 times worse.
Yeah, true.
Karena kayak apa ya, balas dendam gitu loh, ngerti gak sih?
It's like I haven't been smoking in a while.
Yeah, and I have to like smoke even more. Tapi kayak, do you have like target nikah?
I don't have a target, like I have to get married. Kalau bisa, I want to get married like my late 20s. 26, 27.
Sama lagi.
Kalau bisa, tapi if by 26, 27 I haven't found the one, then I'm not gonna force myself to get married.
As a person who's like really active in social media, how do you keep your mental health like healthy?
Don't think too much.
Don't think too much.
And don't try to please everyone.
Oh iya lagi, bener ya. I feel like yeah.
Some people are gonna hate you, some people are gonna like you. That's just how the world is.
Apalagi kayak you've been through a lot actually dari kemarin, like.
Nah, I'm fine. I was in LA.
I like the answer. Oh my god, I was fine. I was in LA.
Yeah. I had so much fun in LA.
What did you do in LA?
Like,
dari kemarin.
Yeah, I don't see. I went to Six Flags. I tried so much good food, met so many people, made connections.
I see. Wait, have you ever been to Mexico?
No, but I was considering it.
Aku kepengen coba ke Mexico. I really want to go to Mexico. Damn.
Tapi not gonna lie, I feel like if I was in Jakarta, I would have been kind of stressed with like the whole situation, because I nggak boleh speak up about it or people are gonna like dislike me more. Tapi I'm in the country of freedom, LA, so.
Do you think kalau misalnya, yeah, I was gonna ask you that one more time, wait. Do you think kalau misalnya kemarin, if you could like turn back time, if you did speak up about it, do you think people are gonna like hate you even more like that badly?
Yeah, I feel like they would.
Meskipun you said everything you just gitu.
Yeah, I feel like they would. Kalau misalnya mereka udah nggak suka sama ya udahlah, mau gimana.
Tapi kalau misalnya right now you're speaking up for the truth, like mereka udah adem gini, do you think they would start like liking you more or like?
I don't mind if they like me or not.
Is there anything you want to say before you leave or anything?
I think what I want to say is I don't really care about my haters, but if there are people who masih kayak there's a lot of comments and DMs that they were like, I still support you and I'm very very appreciative to them. I think that's all I want to say is like thank you.
Well, it's really nice talking with you actually. This is my first time by the way guys. Yang buat kalian yang di sini kayak jujur aja ini pertama kali aku ketemu Livy. Dan ternyata seru banget. I had really fun time with you, talking with you. You're really nice, you're really awesome, and
Yeah, me too. We should hang out more.
yeah, we
You're
should
in
hang
Pic
out
too.
more. We should plan a trip to Japan actually.
Sure, I'll be your tour guide.
Yeah, no. Actually, we should go to LA together.
No, LA is too far.
Okay,
Ayo,
fine.
baru
Where
balik.
do you want to go?
Japan?
Ayo
Korea?
deh.
Boleh
Ayo
sih.
deh, ayo.
When you're free,
Okay.
I'll
Alright.
DM you.
All right then. It's fun to talk with you. Sadly, waktunya udah habis. I'll
Oh,
see you
no.
next time. Thank you
Okay.
so much for coming, Livy.
Sorry, my hand is wet, but
It's
thank
okay.
you.
My hand is also wet. Tepuk tangan dulu semuanya. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for watching Intermezzo. Buat kalian yang lagi nonton, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video. I'll see you next time in the next Intermezzo. Bye-bye.